Welcome to the Kosinkosi podcast,
a brand that stands for all things owning your power. In other words, we have conversations with individuals from different walks of life, understanding that how did you get to the point of owning your true power, and what did you do to get to that point of owning that power? Welcome to another episode of the Kosinkosi podcast, a brand that stands for all things owning your power. On this podcast, we open up conversations with different individuals from different walks of life to try and understand how did you come to the realization of your true power, and what did you do to get to that point of owning that power. We believe that confidence is something that comes from within you, and we also believe that clothing and fashion statements are a big part of that process. I'm your host, Sbahle Sithole, and joining me in studio today is a Wits accounting graduate. She's a multi-award-winning businesswoman, and she's also been described as a trailblazer in the construction industry. Sbahle Sithole.
Thank you.
Welcome in studio, Sisi.
Thank you so much.
You look beautiful in your dress.
Thank you. So do you.
Thank you. I just want to say that I really commend you on the work that you've done.
Thank you.
I mean, a lot of beautiful women, people look at them and assume that there's nothing there. But you've got the beauty, the brains, all of it.
Amen.
So I really commend you on your work. Well done, Sisi, for
Thank
everything
you.
that you've done for yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Outside of all these accolades that you have that I just mentioned, who is Sbahle? Where was she raised? Where was she born? Where was she raised? You know, what was her upbringing like?
Okay, so Sbahle is from a small town in the northern part of KwaZulu-Natal called Newcastle. I grew up there, Sbahle Matateni, and then we moved to the burbs when I was 3 years old. Grew up working very hard. My mother had a catering company and a draping company. So events, it's called events today, but it used to be categorized back then. So my upbringing consisted a lot of not sleeping, especially when it's during school holidays, because what would happen is we'd probably have an event where they're hiring tents from us and draping and cooking. So a typical weekend would be us putting up a tent. By us, I mean me and my siblings, because my mother never hired help, just so that her reasoning was that she wanted to make sure that once she does get paid, that we stay with the money and, it's things that we can all use for the house and so on. But a weekend would consist of us putting up a tent. So yes, I can put up a tent,
You
full on, yes.
Literally.
Yes.
I thought maybe there's some help that you got from guides somewhere. So you actually did it.
Me, my two sisters, and my brother, and my mom. We would put up tents, and then we put in chairs. I can carry 25 chairs with my back.
What?
Yes. That is how I grew up. So we put up tents, put in chairs, put in tables, drape the place, and then if we also were hired for cooking, that means we'd probably finish working at maybe 3 a.m. in the morning, sleep for maybe 2 hours, then wake up and start chopping up vegetables, start cooking for the event. Event happens, maybe the event will finish around 6, 7, roundabout depends on how rowdy people are or where the venue is. That time we now have to start taking everything off and out, or we washing dishes, So that's how I grew up, lots and lots of hard work. But if I give a bit of school background, I somehow did quite well. I was one of those kids that did quite well during school. I had my colors for academics and so on. Also, I think that was very, very heavily based on the fact that my parents were very strict. So we grew up, you're not allowed to watch TV from Monday to Friday.
It's all about books.
It's all, she wouldn't necessarily say that, but I think that's what she was,
going
kind of alluding to, but then it's then the weekend comes and we're working. So it was like there was never really time for TV at all. But yeah, that is how I grew up. Very, very strict parents. No coming home and visiting friends. No, you come home, you're probably washing tents or washing chairs for the weekend because we've got work.
It makes sense now. Now it makes sense. So
Hard work.
having that background, why then did you go the accounting route? Having all of that, you were in the catering space and also academic. How did you get to the decision of studying accounting now?
For me, it was purely based on my marks. Like my two highest marks were accounting and physics when I finished matric. And it was either I count money or I add and subtract letters plus money because that's physics. So I was like, no, let me rather just stick to counting money. Initially, before that, it was to be a lawyer, actually. But that was purely based on the fact that my dad was a lawyer. And I was like, okay, maybe I should follow dad's path. But then, yeah, my marks, it was between physics and accounting. And then I was like, let me be a CA.
Yeah.
That was the initial dream.
Speaking of being inspired by your dad, you have lost your dad.
Yes.
Please tell me about that experience for you.
Ooh. Where's the tissue?
I know. Please don't cry. Try your best.
I'm going to try my best not to. I can't waste this gorgeous beat, darling. But yes, I lost my father in 2020. My father was fighting cancer for 3 years. And then, he passed away in December 2020. Oof, the effects of losing a father. I had a great relationship with my father. We were very, very close, and his absence is something that I don't think can ever be fulfilled, by anything or anyone. And just unfortunately, so I come from a polygamist setup or family, if one could say, where my mother's the third wife and my father had 4 wives. And unfortunately, on the day of his funeral, everyone kind of, I guess, revealed their true colors, that I guess they weren't always okay with the setup, to the point where I unfortunately did not see my father in a casket, nor was I close enough to throw sand on his grave, nor did I know where the grave was on the actual day, because my mother, myself, and my sister were stopped by the first wife and her kids from coming close to my father's casket. So it's the grief of losing your father and the grief of not being able to even say goodbye the way you would have wanted to, that one deals with till today. Because I think it's 4 years now since he's passing, and it's still things that haunt you, and you don't really know the answer, and unfortunately no one is going to give you the answer, so you have to almost find a way to be okay with it, type of thing. But yeah.
What have you done in that 4 years to try and deal with the grief that you had, even after all this traumatic experience?
So after the first year, in 2021, I went to therapy. I went to therapy for about 3 months, and the biggest thing I took from therapy, the reason why I went to therapy was because I was struggling with understanding how did we come from a setup where we loved each other. Because my dad's polygamy was handled very well. It was a polygamy where school holidays, sometimes we'd go to the first wife. The first wife was cool with the second wife, the second wife cool with the fourth. Everyone was fine. We were all a close unit. And one thing my dad always preached about was how much the kids have to love each other, type of thing. So what was frustrating or confusing was how we went from that to on his last day, we are now butting heads, we're against each other. And it's like, so what went wrong? And why wasn't it spoken about, so that if perhaps I had done something wrong, I could have apologized, so that I'm not robbed the opportunity of, saying my goodbyes to my dad. So it was just that out of nowhere, you guys know, you're not allowed here, you're not allowed there, you're not allowed there. And that I was battling with constantly asking myself, but I must have done something wrong. We must have done something wrong. But what was it? And can we fix it even now, even though he's gone? So with my therapist, the one thing she helped me kind of realize or come to terms with is that sometimes people don't need an excuse to be horrible to you. Like they don't have to have a reason. They just choose to be, and it's something that, yes, you as a normal person would want to think that, no, but it's impossible.
I have
to have done something. It can't just be out of nowhere. And you won't get an answer because sometimes you truly did not do anything. They just have their own hatred that they had built over a time or came at that time, and they wanted to kind of just inflict it on you.
Are you still going to therapy to still work on it?
I've stopped. I think after that session we had where she really drilled it in me that, it's really not your fault. I got the answers that I needed, and I've accepted and forgave and let go of all of that. Yeah.
I think your dad was really the one that was just holding everything together. So as soon as he was out the door, everything just crumbled right there and there. So yeah, you really should not be blaming yourself for any of that. And I wish you all the healing, because the healing never really stops. So everybody says that has lost a parent.
No, it never does. It never does. If anything, for me, it just even makes me fear, because unfortunately I know that my mom's also one day gonna go. So it's just, I fear that now, because it's like gonna be an addition to something I'm already not haven't dealt with, and I don't think I ever will. And it's also milestones. Like you go through milestones and you're like, oh, dad would have been so proud. Or you meet someone and you're like, oh, dad would have loved this person. So it doesn't stop,
But look on the brighter side. At least you still have one parent. Get the fear out of the head and enjoy your time with your mom while she's still here, And you'll cross that bridge when you get there one day.
True.
Now, you are a multi-award-winning businesswoman, and you're also known as a trailblazer in the construction industry. Tell me about how you started as a businesswoman.
Okay, so I started with a brick making business called Sbahle Bricks. That started because during my third year in varsity, we were being taught the importance of CSI, which is corporate social investments. And a lot of the times throughout my third year, our lecturers really would always talk about how CAs make the best CEOs, or CAs make the best.
Well, apparently.
Yes.
Actually, not apparently, they do.
Yes. They make the best business owners. They're the best people to run businesses and stuff. So that also started like coming into my mind, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should, have my own. But also, let me not lie, third year was so hard that I was like, I don't know if I still want to be a CA.
Every CA literally had that conversation with themselves.
It was tough.
Yeah.
So I then, started having this idea in my mind. Also, I was like, actually, mom was also a business owner. So maybe I should be, an entrepreneur and stuff. So we were being taught about the importance of CSI, corporate social investments, and there is this informal settlement that I always drive past when I'm going back home to Newcastle. And I remember this one time I was like, you know what, maybe I need to start a construction company, and then one of my CSI projects will be to come build these people houses, because like these people were living in there's shacks, but then there's shacks.
The ones where you're like, oh no.
Where you're like, this is sad, it was sad. So when I had that in mind, I had no idea, how do you start a construction company? What's needed for a construction company? None of that. Crazy enough, I think I graduated, and then the year after I graduated, my mom in my hometown was known as a serial entrepreneur. She didn't only do that, drapings and stuff. She did a whole bunch of other things. And someone came to my mom saying that they've got this brick making machine and they want to sell it, and would my mom be interested?
What?
Yes. So my mom presented it to us as like, guys, should we start this, business as a family business, brick businesses? I said, no, that's mine. That's how I'm gonna get into construction, because I'll start with bricks, and then by the time I have this big construction company, I'm gonna be producing my
Your own raw materials.
yes, my own
basically.
raw
Yeah.
materials for my company.
Yeah.
And then hence Smace Bricks was born. Like my mom and my elder sister were the people that bought the first machine. And then the family it was a family business, but I would say everything was just registered under my company, because while we were being, told about, how CAs make great businesses and stuff, I registered 2 companies. I had no idea what I was going to do with them at the time, but I just knew that I want to own businesses. Very important.
Very, very important. You have to take those little steps.
And you have to
even
take
if you don't
them.
know.
Exactly.
You know?
I always say that I really feel like it was God's timing with the whole brick machine being sold to my mom.
Exactly.
Right on the year that I just finished finally got my degree, So then the business started. We started in the worst year, if I'm being honest, because it was 2020. So we began February. And then April was when we had lockdown. So now you've got all these expenses that are sitting there. You've just hired some people. They also don't know what's going on in the world. Now so it was the worst year to start.
Yeah.
But I remember when the country started opening up again and it was level 3. That's when I had a conversation with myself and I was like, okay, are we going to try this again? Are we going to do it and stuff? And we did. And then 2 years later, we got the award all the way in Tanzania for being, the best or most promising startup construction company. So I guess it was all worth it.
That's brilliant. And I also saw you were covered on Sowetan as a trailblazer in this industry. Why do you think they called you a trailblazer? What's different about what you're offering in the construction space that they saw that title really fit for you?
I think in my hometown, I made quite an impact for someone who had just started the business, one. And then I think secondly, because I was a female. In the space of us opening, I think maybe 3 months, we were supplying for 3 hardware stores in my hometown.
What? In 3 months?
In about 3 months, 3 or
I
4
was
months,
watching.
we were supplying 3 hardware stores in my hometown. And, the name really picked up quite fast. And it was like, also I think people were curious because it was like, who's this girl
that's making
bricks, And apart from that, I think because people also just knew like my mom and dad, it was kind of like it's their daughter doing this type of thing. So yeah, so I think that's probably where it came from, and just the recognition for the award and so on.
I think another thing that you're probably missing in this whole thing is because remember your mom has been training you. Like since forever. So
since like primary
I think that the business muscle was already strong.
Yes, 100%.
And then when you got that opportunity, it was just go time.
Yeah.
So it may look like you've made it in 3 months.
Yeah, but
in reality, it's been years.
True, true.
No, well done, Sisi. You're doing really
you.
amazing.
Thank you.
You're also a fitness fanatic.
Yes.
I don't want to call you a bunny because there's someone else who's called a fitness, but you're a business fanatic.
Yeah.
What's that like for you? What's that journey like for you? What inspires you in your fitness journey?
So crazy enough, with my sportswear line, because I've started a sportswear line now, it was first the sportswear line before Smace Breaks. Because
the sports line came first.
Yes, but it was more of like the research and finding the right fabric, and because my biggest thing was I am someone who's quite curvy, and finding tights that don't roll down when I'm doing squats or when I'm doing these exercises was quite challenging. So I was like, okay, again, this whole I needed to start a business, what am I going to start and so on. What should I do? Should I do something that speaks to me? Should I, So I thought of doing a sportswear line. But this was back when I was still in school, even. And I remember I got like a sample made from China, and they brought it in, and then I fitted it and tried it. So all in all, it took about 5 years before I actually launched my sportswear line. Because then the bricks thing came, and then I put the sportswear line on pause, and then I carried on with the bricks until I came back to the sportswear line again. So I think it comes from me also. Back in primary and high school, I was a sports girl. I played sports like throughout from grade 1 to matric, and then I got to varsity and I gained a lot of weight.
You stopped playing sports.
Because I stopped playing sports. And it would be so embarrassing when you go back home and you're now like going to church or something, because everyone's like, and it's like some people would even think, are you pregnant? Or, because you're gaining so much weight.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, no. We got to get back to the gym. And so yeah, that's basically how I got I got into gym being more of my life again, because I was like, we can't go back there.
As a businesswoman, do you find yourself facing challenges? Because look, you're a very beautiful woman. And like I said, there's a lot of stigma about women that look like yourself.
Yes.
Like you walk into the room and they're like, oh. Do you find yourself having a lot of difficulty in the business world as a woman like yourself?
100%, especially with the brick business. The construction industry as a whole is very male dominant. So a lot of times you find yourself in positions where, men will want to remind you that it's a male dominant industry, and it's like, what are you doing here? So
what do you want?
So you're very undermined. Firstly, it's like you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't know what you're doing, and you should be selling hair or doing nails and things like that. So you are always undermined. And another challenge there is, men want to convince you that there's an easier way out of this.
Like, relax, I can take you. You don't have to
be making
bricks.
bricks.
That's dirty
What are you doing? Exactly. That's a man's job. Why are you even there? So those things are very challenging, and hence why, for me, that is what birthed my Female Industrialist Seminar, which is a seminar I host for women who are in these male-dominant industries to come together. Because I've always felt like in the construction industry, if you don't have a male backbone, it's very hard to push through. So I then thought, okay, for those females that probably don't have a male backbone, because for me it was like, I had my dad when I started the business, but then that same year at the end of the year, I lost him. And so he was like my go-to, okay, this is what I'm trying to do, this is what I'm thinking or whatever. So I thought, okay, for those females that actually really want to make it in this industry but don't have these male backbones, let me create this Female Industrialist Seminar where women come and network and, create this community where we at least help each other maneuver through these, these gatekeeping, aspects that men put in this industry type of thing. So it's challenging and it doesn't stop. You even get to a point sometimes when you're going to have a meeting, you're like, what should I wear? Because I don't want it to be about anything else. Can we just discuss business?
Well, what do you hide your body in when you go to these kind of? Do you find track pants that are really big? I mean, you can try as hard as you can.
But then you can't exactly hide the face also. So, there's always something. So I think it's just, you also just need to get to a point where you embrace it and you're already in your mind, you're like, okay, things could go left. And I need to be okay with it and calm and just approach it the best way and, politely decline. It's just sad because, other men, their egos get bruised. And so then now they stop you and they stop other channels for you. It's tough.
It's tough, but we keep on pushing.
We have to.
I'm really proud of the work that you're doing. When are you hosting that seminar?
I'm hosting the seminar this year, hopefully in August. Hopefully in August.
We'll keep an eye for that one.
Please do.
Because I also want to find myself in those rooms. Even if I've got nothing to offer, I can just listen and
100%.
learn.
100%. We had our first one last year in May. It went super well. I think we even had a few ladies from, I think they said they were from Bloemfontein that drove into Joburg just for the seminar.
Beautiful.
And they've got a roof tiling business.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So yeah, it was quite. There were women in tech. There were women in mining. There were women. It was. I was even overblown. Blown away. I thought like.
No, Sbahle, you can build a really big network out of this whole thing if it just keeps going. That's why I want myself in that.
No,
please.
I got you. I'll send you a personal invite.
What are some of the things the advices that you can give to younger women who are also aspiring to go in the direction that you're going now, given all of the things that you keep on experiencing and the challenges that you've had to overcome?
I always like to think of life as seasons. It's gonna get sunny. It's gonna get really cold. It's gonna rain, but it's a constant change, and it does get better as much as when the rain and the thorn and the storms and the cold comes. Keep in mind that it will stop. And the sun is going to shine bright again. So I think it's just constantly having the mindset to not stop.
Yeah.
Like, because I've started, let me not stop. Maybe you want to try and change direction if you feel like the same direction that you keep going is not going anywhere, but continue. The main objective is just to not stop. Don't stop.
To never stop.
No.
Redirection is okay.
Redirection is
pause
okay.
is okay.
Pause
Yeah.
is okay, but just don't stop.
Oh,
Ever.
brilliant. I'll also use that for myself.
Please do.
So, yeah. So, Sbahle, if you were to serve yourself to a large crowd of people and you were to put yourself on a plate, what would you have on that plate and why?
Like food-wise?
Yes, food-wise.
Yeah. 7 colors.
Yeah. That's the standard.
Like 7 colors. Damn, I don't know. I don't know how I'd actually serve myself. But I would say actually, I wouldn't put 7 colors. I'm a little less complex than that. I'm quite a straightforward, easy to read type of person. My green is green, and it's very hard for you to convince me that it's lime. It's green.
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't put 7 colors. I'd probably be more of a like I'd probably just be a salad.
Really?
Yeah. Just a salad. Yeah. Simply just a
Not
salad.
bad.
Nothing else. Just salad.
And if you were a drink of choice, if you were a cocktail or any drink of choice?
A drink of choice. I think I'll mention my favorite, which is coffee. I'm a bit of a coffee addict.
I love coffee.
I'm a bit of a coffee addict, but I'm a no sugar, no milk
Yeah.
coffee.
So it's like straight black.
Straight black.
I go.
I'm an Americano.
No, you're on your own.
Rare, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm very rare. So that's why it would be a coffee, no milk, no sugar.
Okay. No, then you're on your own. So I'm a big fitness junkie, right? And believe it or not, the reason why I work out so much is because I just want to look good in a thong, Yes, the health is also good, but my main reason is literally because I gym, because I want to look good in a thong.
But it's a good reason.
What does fitness mean to you to a point whereby you even went all the way to own a fitness line?
Okay. So looking good in a thong is an extra for me. It's not the main. For me, gym is discipline, me teaching myself discipline. And I feel like the biggest form or the largest form of, reflecting or showing people that you have self-love is discipline. When you decide that let me go to a place where I know I'm inflicting pain on myself, but you're looking at the outcome of that. I always say to people that the best thing you can do when you start gym is don't go with a body in mind or a goal. That's my advice. I know a lot of people are going to be like, no, but I need a goal so I can keep pushing. I say go and make it a part of your discipline lesson. Like you being able to tell yourself that no matter what I'm doing today, tomorrow at this time, I have to wake up and I have to find myself in the gym. And then you allow your body transforming to be the cherry on top. Because I just feel like the moment you keep looking at a body, you are now constantly looking at yourself in the mirror after every training, session. You're like, oh, but this is not, but this is. But the moment you leave that and you just like, I just want to be a disciplined person and let that discipline flow out, not even in just the gym, but your work life, your friendships, anything. Then I think that's the best remedy to stay in the gym and to just get the body you want as a cherry on top. And for me, how that led to it, to me starting my own sportswear line is because, one, I want to look good in the gym. I really want to look good in the gym and I want to be comfortable more than anything. I also love having, like, knowing that, okay, tomorrow when I go to the gym, I'm going to wear this color. Tuesdays, I even have colors for my days. Like Monday, I like to be in black. Tuesday, I like to be in blue. Wednesday, I like to be in my maroon set. Thursday, Friday, I choose between my brown and my pink, whichever I'm feeling. And I wanted, apart from that, because again of the whole situation of finding something that fits good on my body and my waist and so on, I want people to also not view the gym as such a, dark, hard, or only like serious people. The gym is literally for anyone, and yeah, I think most important thing is discipline. Discipline, discipline, discipline. You just telling yourself that if I have said I'm going to do ABC tomorrow, I need to make sure that I do ABC tomorrow.
I fully concur with that because one of the biggest motivations I have for going to the gym is my sets. I need to look good.
Exactly.
It's like I could be so lazy, but as soon as I put on a cute set, I'm getting out the house and I'm going to the gym. And you're very right about the fact that you need to have motivation and you need to be disciplined and stuff. Even the people that go to the gym, like myself, with the goal to look good in a thong, you realize that there are so many other benefits beyond it. So you went there to look good in the thong, but then you come out with a better mental state. You're no longer anxious. You're healthy. You sleep better at night. So all of those things actually do tie in.
I was actually going to say that another thing for me is gym is therapy. Gym is it's therapy. If I'm not having a good day, or I'm like, maybe I woke up to, news that are not sitting well with me and I don't know what to do with myself. Once I've finished that gym session,
it's over for you.
I'm happy again. Like my mood is up. I'm ready. I'm ready to start my day. I'm ready. What's next? And I'm also someone who I really don't like having free time. I love having something to do, all the time. So once I'm out of the gym and my mind is pumping and my heart is pumping and everything feels good, I'm just like, okay, what's next? What are we doing? So there's so many benefits in the gym. Like, I really wish people would just view it as a therapy session.
Safe haven.
Yeah, safe haven more than anything also, yes.
I actually wanted to ask you what you do in your free time, but now you say you don't like having a free time. But what do you do to entertain yourself? How do you have fun? Because you can't be working all the time.
You
grew up working a lot.
I grew up working. I grew up working, so that's all I know.
Yeah.
Like, I feel wrong when I'm... Actually, even my mom, maybe, if she'll call me and I sound relaxed, she'll be like,
Hi, but Sbahle, you need to have fun a little.
I do. I wouldn't say like I'm like a 24-hour workaholic. I do take time to, I guess, chill. Lately, I've started baking. Okay. I really like baking.
That's a nice hobby also.
I've started baking, so at least now there's something. Instead of, I'm not really a TV fan, again, because I grew up working Monday to Friday. You're not allowed to watch TV, so... But yeah, baking is fun.
Sbahle, you have the slimmest waist I've ever seen and the biggest S. You must find it really difficult finding things that fit you the right way. Is that the reason why you thought you need to now start your own gym line?
Yes. I literally get everything altered. Whether it's pants, whether it's, dresses and stuff. Only tops are not altered. But I literally, sometimes I've got a tailor that lives right by my house. Sometimes if I want to buy clothes online, they get delivered to him so that he brings them to me altered, So I mean, with clothes, it was never really an issue like that because it's just, you just get it out and whatever. But for things like the gym, you're squatting, you're doing RDLs, you're bending over, you're stretching, whatever. So you want something comfortable. And the only clothing items in my closet that I've never altered are my gym tights, like my personal ones that I created. And that was the main reason to do that, because I didn't want to like feel uncomfortable in the gym. Like you want to really like work out and not think that you're busy like giving people a show, you know. But again, with Revenge, I mean, yes, that was the driving force for me, but that is not what the brand stands for only. You know, it caters to all types of bodies and so on to have that comfort.
I literally thought you went to surgery to get your waist done, eh? And I just found out that it's actually natural. Because with me, how I get my flat stomach is I need to be really, really strict with my diet. If I'm not strict with my diet, it will start showing on my body that I'm not eating right. I eat a specific way.
Okay.
How is nutrition on your side? Are you big on nutrition when you train? What's that like for you?
So I've always been blessed with my body. My upper body's always been small. My lower body is always bigger. For me, when I'm not eating right, my lower body expands. I've never had issues with my upper body.
I wish I had those.
So I can say that, I wouldn't say nutrition is like a big factor in my life per se. It's not as big as I'd actually want it to be. However, I have noticed that ever since I've been, more consistent and made working out a part of my lifestyle, I'm very cautious about what I eat. I'm very cautious about what I drink. And I think you naturally, once you're starting to take care of your body, you naturally start rejecting certain things because you just like, you can feel that this is making me heavy and I want to be able to go to the gym, so I can't eat this. So you start naturally change. Again, the other benefit of working out is exactly those things, because your body really does naturally start speaking to you and saying, okay, no, we can't be eating just anything anymore. For me, it's even like sometimes even if I crave like a fast food, because I will crave, I rather only eat it on the weekends. My 2 days on the weekends are the days where if you're craving something, you can. But on the weekday, I take it as a job and say, this is my, Monday to Friday strictness, and where I really watch what I eat and I take care of myself like that.
Interesting, because with me, I've come to realize that you can never outtrain a bad diet. So you will know with your performance in the gym if you're eating right or not. So I usually tell people that I eat for function. I don't eat for pleasure. Only occasionally I eat for pleasure, but on a normal daily basis, I eat for function. And I know when I'm on feet, when I'm in the gym. So I know that I need to start eating.
Yes, your body talks to you.
It does.
It's really a true thing.
And it's important to do what your body tells you.
Yes,
For you, it's not a strict diet, but you're still performing well in the gym.
100%,
For me, it's a strict diet. I have to,
Yeah, and body types are different.
Yeah.
Certain thing. I can give you what I eat,
And
for
it
a
won't
month,
work.
and it won't do
Yeah.
anything for you. You can give me something, but so it's very important to really find what works for you.
What works for your body type also. Yeah, that's why you need to consult with dietitians and
True,
stuff to find out the right foods for
Very
you as a
true,
person. It's
yes.
not a one size fits all. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
What's next for the brand and for Sbahle as a person?
My mind literally splits into two different ways,
Yeah.
because there's what I think of when I think of the brand, and what I think of when I think of just Sbahle. Sbahle is, I'm really at a place where, I'm seeing marriage, I'm seeing kids, I'm seeing that type of stress. I feel like I've had the business stress, started a business, started a few, got the awards and stuff. So just for Sbahle, that's where my mind is. But however, with Revenge, I really want to go all the way with it. I want to get to a point where we're doing sneakers for Revenge. I want to move more into athleisure, where it's not just gym wear and you just, swag out Revenge as a whole. And then the big dream is to have my own gym, my own Revenge gym, not only, here in the country, but like globally, like a Virgin Active of some sort. And I've even thought of how that membership would work in my gym, like what things I'd have in place for people to entice them to come to the gym and so on. So yeah, that would be the main event for Revenge where I see it.
I think you're very capable of going in that
Thank
direction.
you.
And I wish you
appreciate
all
it.
the best of luck.
Thank you.
You're going to do well. Why did you decide to name your brand Revenge?
Geez, so I don't think I really have a proper textbook answer to that. But if anything, I've always wanted people to. I don't want revenge to be associated with someone else. I always feel like when you're like, oh, I want to get revenge on someone, you are putting yourself in a position where I always have to think about that person before I do something, you know? So I've always thought of it in a way of it's revenge on myself. Every time that I said I'm going to go to the gym, but I end up slouching at home and not going. Every time I said I'm going to start this diet, every time I said I'm going to start anything. It doesn't have to be gym related, but it's just more revenge on yourself. You also remembering that you are your biggest competition. I always say, I feel like in the gym, there's mirrors everywhere so that you can constantly get a reflection of yourself and have a moment where you're proud or disappointed, and which side do you want to be on? Are you looking at yourself and saying, okay, yeah, no, I beat you today. You were trying to make me lazy, but I made it, you know. And yeah, I think I'm just trying to change the narrative of revenge from being so negative and about someone else to being about you and a positive fuel for you to actually do something for yourself. Yeah. And yes, I must add that Revenge Man is going to happen. I get asked that a lot. And it is coming. I know the guys are always like, no, we want to buy for our girls, but we want to match with our girls. So it's going to happen very, very soon. I will be having
We will be
sets
on the
for
lookout.
men.
We will be on the lookout.
Thank you so much.
All the best, Sisi.
Thank you for now.
I really enjoyed our conversation, Sbahle.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me
Thank
today,
you.
and I wish you all the best of luck. I can't even question
so much.
anything. You're going to be really successful more
thank
than you are now.
I appreciate
because
that.
you
Thank
deserve it, and you've been working very hard for it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's it from Sbahle Sithole and from myself, Sehorani Leseilani. I will see you on the next episode. Bye.